Yes, guys, and a welcome from me, Challenge Manager 0102. Happy New Year, New Year's Eve. Just gone 5 o'clock, the year 2022. I'm only saying that because maybe one day I'll look back on this in like 20 years' time. So you can see the biggest difference of today's video is that you can actually see my ugly mug. Now, this was actually an idea from my youngest daughter. She says, "Dad, why don't you put a video capture of yourself on it?" And I didn't want to scare you guys with that, but now I'm thinking, fuck it. So, I'm going to have a quick blast on something new today. Now, somebody gave me I got this idea from someone on the forums the other day. He asked a question about how many times have people started a game as England. Now, do you know what? I might have done it when it first came out, I don't know. But I don't ever recall really ever doing it. So, you've probably just gathered right there. I've just fired up a brand new save with all the majority of the main leagues all open or in background. And we are going to start as England. But first things first, I need to just get to any English player and we can start. There you go. We are England. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but from an ODB perspective, with England, you are already in the World Cup. So the next, this isn't going to be an exciting save. At least for the benefit of this video. But I'm intrigued to know how people would do this. So you can see right here, I've started a brand new spanking game. Now the World Cup is 11 months away. So we've got, I think we're going to have another friendly though, I'd say. One will be booked in before the World Cup, before the end of the year, and I think we'll have one in March, I'd say. So it's really a case of who would make your England squad. Now, I actually took a screenshot of someone's answer. I'm intrigued to get you guys' perspective on this. Someone had said get Alan Smith in there, and the reason I took a screenshot of this because I planned to do this. If I got time to do it today, I plan to do it. I had my own. I think I wrote a reply, and I think I only had about 3 or 4 players that I would definitely have. And I think Ashley Cole was one. Beckham was another. I can't even remember. Gerrard, if he's fit. Now, someone said Alan Smith. I'm reading here now. David Seaman or Richard Wright, Ian Wright, depending on who's starting for Arsenal. This is thanks to Dave Tresidder, whose reply I'm stealing right now. Gary Neville, Campbell, Rio Ferdinand. I'm not sure about Rio Ferdinand or John Terry because with CM, they're not real beasts, are they? Especially not in season 1 anyway. Rio Ferdinand, Ashley Cole, definitely. Kieran Dyer, and although he may be injured at the very start, I think Dyer and Gerrard, they're very injury prone. Joe Cole, actually forgot about Joe Cole. Scholes was the other one that I remembered. Paul Scholes, Beckham, Michael Owen. I'm not sure about Michael Owen because of the same thing with Gerrard, injured a lot. And I always keep an eye on Chris Kirkland. So cheers for that, Dave. So I'm intrigued to know you guys' perspective, who you would have. David Seaman, he's going to be 38 by the time the World Cup comes. I'm not really sure about that, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure of who my number 1 goalkeeper would be. Dean Richards, I don't think he's quite good enough. Now, I thought of somebody earlier on, actually, and that was the late Ugo. The late Ugo Ekiog. I think, and there was another one, was it John Curtis, I think it was, of Blackburn, but I can't remember how good. I don't know if he starts very, very good, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's not really the bollocks, is he? Okay, so like I said, if you guys got any ideas here, Michael Gray, I'm not sure about Michael Gray. The thing is, I'm going to play... What the fuck is that Four Kingdom? Fuck that, it looks like a pile of shit. Clearly I made that. Basics, what's basics? Okay, let's just probably stay with that there. I mean, either that or we go with the original Boom. Which is that. Okay, are we playing? Yeah. Normal tackling, I don't even remember that. Okay, so we'll just stick with that for the time being. So who we get? I'm certainly not going to have Rod Wallace. I don't rate him. No, what am I doing? I need to take him out the fucking England setup. Andy Cole. I don't rate Andy Cole in this game, period. Robbie Fowler, he can do a job. Injury prone 18. Ooh, Nicky Barmby. I don't know for now. I don't know how you guys work, but I'm always intrigued. You know, do you rip everyone apart and then do you add them, or what? How do you do it? Injury prone 20. Jamie Redknapp. We'll take him out. That's for sure. We'll keep Gerrard in there for the time being. Owen Hargreaves, maybe. Martin Keown. Let's be honest here. Martin Keown has got some bloody good attributes. I mean, look around, but he is 34. He's going to be 35, so I'm going to keep him for the moment. Rio Ferdinand's already in there. He'll probably make it, Ferdinand. Sol Campbell, what's he injured for? He's injured for a few days. Okay. Michael Gray. I don't believe for a minute Michael Gray would be good enough. Ashley Cole will be the number one left back. Gary Neville will more than likely be the undisputed right back. Jonathan Woodgate will probably be a squad player. Danny Mills, I don't like Danny Mills as a player, and because I don't like him as a player, he can fuck off out my England squad. Gareth Southgate is probably going to be, I mean, you've got to think to yourself, you know, how good were these players in real life? Southgate, I haven't forgiven Southgate for missing that Euro 96 penalty, so I'm probably going to fuck him off. Heskey, that sack of shit up top, but always seemed to hold up the ball really well. Credit where it's due here, but he won't be my out-and-out striker, Heskey. I think. Let's be honest here. Heskey's not gonna be leading the front line. And I don't realistically think. I mean, where's Tony Adams? Why is Tony Adams not there? Is what I want to know. Tony Adams, unless he's retired, that is. Tony Adams. Yes, he is. That's why Tony Adams is retired. So I think realistically. So with no Adams, I think Keown ain't going to make it, is he? Not at the age of 35. Let's have a quick look then. Who's already in the under-21? See if you can remember. Chris Kirkland, we mentioned him earlier on. Titus Bramble. I mean, these guys are probably not going to be pressing for a starting berth or for a starting squad place for the World Cup, but they are certainly players to look for going forward. Gareth Barry, he tends to turn pretty decent. Ledley King can, provided injury don't fuck him up. Is that Seth Johnson? Jeez, there's a trip down memory lane. Joe Cole. Now, Joe Cole, I'm going to move him into my England squad because Joe Cole is definitely somebody I will potentially keep hold of. Michael Carrick, the DMC side of things. Okay, we'll move John Terry and we're going to move... Is that Luke Young? We'll leave Carrick out for a minute, I think. Yeah, we've got Gerrard and Hargreaves. And who was the other one I said? Was it Kieran Dyer, weren't it? Kieran Dyer. I bet he's already injured, isn't he? Is that what it is? I bet that's why. Of course he is. Of course he's fucking injured. So, like I said, let me know if you've got any ideas. I'm always intrigued to know if someone's got a player that they go to. Now, what else did I see? Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll do it like this, shall we? Let's do it. And we'll do it like that. So we'll go by the highest value. Andy Cole, no. Alan Smith, that was it. Alan Smith. So Alan Smith will move him into my England squad. Shearer, we know we can't have Shearer. Of course, he's retired. Selfish bastard. Michael Bridges, maybe not season 1, but Bridges could potentially be a really good player. You'll have to bear with me, guys, here, because I'm forgetting about the camera. So I've got to look at my screen. You know. Let's have a look who else we've got then. Frank Lampard, maybe. Lee Bowyer. Lee Bowyer, I think for me, with my formation I'm going to play, Bowyer's got to play in that number 7 role. Realistically, I'm not sure I agree with those fucking numbers, 11 up top. I don't know. I mean, because where am I going to play Beckham? Beckham's going to probably play as a number 10. Scholes, probably play Scholes behind an out-and-out striker, who knows. Matt Jansen, again, he's somebody for the future. Jamie Carragher is actually not a bad. He's quite a good player from a versatility perspective, Jamie Carragher. I don't think he performs that brilliantly, in all honesty, but he's certainly got a bit of versatility. We've got what we've got. We've got Lasso, Ashley Cole, Gary Neville, Carragher. We could realistically do one more centre-half that could maybe play right back. How many players we got? We've got 23. Okay, we haven't really. Yeah, we got to offload some of this defence, haven't we? So I'll tell you what I'll do. Right. So I've got all the leagues open. Right. I've got all the leagues open. So I will go on merit as well. Obviously, merit, I think, it is absolutely massive. There's no one else really outstanding, but let's just take a look at goalkeepers then. We said about, you know, who would be the obvious goalkeepers. Richard Wright is the highest valued. Does Ian Walker make the grade? Seaman or Richard Wright, one of them ain't going to make the grade. That's a fact. Probably Nigel Martyn will. Maybe even David James, got probably one of the best reflexes in England. I think there's no doubt about that. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just put this down to ability, shall we? So the handling, the agility, and the what was it? Reflexes. Seaman, Martyn, Walker, Flowers. I mean, so it's an interesting one. Maybe even Ian Walker ahead of maybe even Ian Walker ahead of Nigel Martyn, of Richard Wright. So we'll just stick him there for a minute. Just for the moment, we'll take out Richard Wright. Just for the time being, I would like to try and find myself another right back if I can. Let's do it like that. We need ourselves a nice solid. Oh, Phil Neville, of course, Phil Neville. I think he's a given, isn't he? Oh, John Curtis. We said about John Curtis, didn't we? So I don't know. Phil Neville's probably going to be. You know, Phil Neville certainly offers that versatility. And what I think I'm going to do, I don't really like Graham Lissow. He's too old, and I just don't like him. I think he's a little prick. So yeah, that probably looks a little bit better. I think maybe we may need to offload one of these centre halves come the World Cup. I think there's no doubt about that. We still name 3 more players though, can't we? So we'll keep an eye on the likes of John Curtis, that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at midfield then. Kieran Dyer. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on Dyer, Lampard, Nicky Barmby. Barmby maybe. Who knows? Nicky Barmby. I don't know. I really don't know about Nicky Barmby. That's a real tricky one. So we'll add him in there for the time being. Anybody else? I mean, Nicky Butt. Nicky Butt's definitely got to be an option. He's got to be sorely battling up there. You'd feel. Anybody else up top? I mean, Matt Jansen maybe. Jansen could really play where we'll probably play Scholes. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go for one more midfielder. And maybe we'll have Frank the Plank. So I think we'll just for the moment we'll keep it at that, shall we? As our 26. It ain't going to be easy to pick a starting 11 from that. It really isn't. I could, in theory, just have 3 straight central midfielders: Lampard, Beckham, and Bowyer if I wanted. 1 DMC, Gerrard or Hargreaves, or Dyer really. 1 up top, which is either going to be Owen, Fowler, or Smith. Jansen or Scholes playing behind. Who knows? Who knows? So, as I said, guys, I'm intrigued to know your perspective. If there's any, you know, imagine you started a game as Belarus, and I'm pretty sure you can. Belarus is actually quite an interesting one because there's a lot of fucking good Belarusian players, as you all know. But obviously Belarus won't start in the World Cup. So Belarus, that could be a fucking challenge there. I remember doing a World Cup game for the ODB, and somebody got Portugal, and they put in Tom Madeira. I was like, you fucking cheating bastard. So, you know, I've read somewhere about Argentina would be a good one. And when we did this ODB World Cup game, it was really good fun because everybody has a different perspective of who they go for, and that's why, based on England, I'm intrigued to know people's perspectives. You know, you may well go to a player that isn't top flight. You know, I mean, let's hypothetically say, who can I take for example? Barry Hales or Leo Fortune. Is it Barry Hales or Leo Fortune? One of them who can score a shitload of goals and could probably do it for England as well. So you know, let me know, guys, your perspective. So we have kicked off this game. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, was it Barry Hales? I can't quite remember. I don't think it was actually now. No, of course it weren't Barry Hales because he's fucking Jamaican, you spastic. There was a striker that scored a lot of goals in the second tier who could probably do. I mean, I'm not sure about Nicky Barmby, to be honest with you. Look at it, Nicky Barmby. I think of real life. And Nicky Barmage reminded me of someone that should have stayed in a creche his whole life because he had that like, baby face. Joe Cole was one of those players. I should do a profile on Joe Cole, shouldn't I? Because Joe Cole, CM-wise, he comes into that legend status for me personally. He's one of the first players that we got a £100 million bid for. Because he is a £100 million player, no doubt about that, in my opinion. I know some people, after all these years, have never even had a £100 million bid. It depends how much you play someone and how much you use them and stuff. If you were playing as France, would you have Anelka up top? Because Anelka, as much of a cunt he is, he will score you a shitload of goals. I think going back to when I said about we did that World Cup ODB game, I think one of the guys I play online with, Ian, he won it with Italy. Italy, strong nation in this World Cup 02. Very strong nation. There's a lot of strong nations, to be honest with you. It's almost like an England golden generation, weren't it? I mean, I keep reading, right, how did this generation of players not win anything? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's the same reason why Gerrard and Lampard just never gelled together. You know, you can have the 11 best footballers in the world. Placing them on the pitch don't mean they're going to fucking demolish any team. You know, and I think a lot of people know that already. And I read it about Belgium as well. You know, this golden generation that never did anything. So going back to what I said at the very start of the video, I've never really started as England. For the simple reason, I'll tell you for the reason, it's because it's this bit. It's fucking boring, isn't it? You don't do fuck all. But thinking about it now, I'm thinking, you know what, there's actually a little bit of fun element in it, because you can play as England. I mean, you could technically put in your own little fucking head, I've just signed a 1-year contract with England. Alright, I've started the game as England manager, I've got a 1-year contract, and I'm calling it a 1-year contract because after the World Cup, you all know this, one of the biggest flaws about CM, particularly on the ODB, is managerial casualties after a World Cup or a Euros. So if my expectations as England is to reach the semi-finals, there's every chance, even if I got to the semis and got knocked out, they'd probably fucking sack me anyway. It is a bastard and a half. It really is. Clearly it's not on the fastest, it's not running off the fastest speed in the world, purely because I have all the leagues open, and the leagues majority of the leagues open. The reason I've kept all the leagues opened, the reason I kept all the leagues open is because I want to be able to look at players' performance on a realistic basis. Right, here we go. So when's our game? Our game we've got another friendly in there then against Czech Republic. So we've got our friendly. So there's no point in just going to take him out. He's not going to be fit for it, is he? So let's just check Beckham. Beckham should be back for Sol Campbell. Yep. Okay, so we want one more player then, and who are we going to have? We need realistically a right winger, an attacking midfielder maybe. I think an attacking midfielder, yeah. Look at it, or a forward. Excuse me, another forward maybe. Dyer's still out for 2 weeks, but I will just add Dyer to my shortlist just to remind myself really. In fact, let's do that. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll keep an eye on Andy Cole. We will definitely keep an eye. Remember that the World Cup is 23 players. A few players that I do certainly want to keep an eye on, and I will forget if I'm honest with you. Marcus Ben, I'm not even interested in that prick. I think we need to keep an eye on Nicky Butt for definite. I'm looking for a forward really. There's fuck all about, isn't there? Danny Murphy? Trevor Sinclair? You know, it's an interesting one, it really is. Francis Jeffers. Now he can turn into a fucking good player, Jeffers. I've noticed that before. I've noticed that several times. So that's an interesting one. Jermaine Defoe. Totally forgot about that bastard. Maybe not season 1, season 2, but definitely. Lee Hughes can score some goals as well. It might have been him that I was thinking about actually. Lee Hughes. It probably was. Lee Hughes. Okay. And Lee Hendry. That was it. That was another one. Lee Hendry. He was English, wasn't he, Lee Hendry? Lee Hendry. Okay, so just going to add him to my shortlist. I do want one more attacking midfielder though. James Scowcroft, nah, fuck off. Noel Whelan, you can fuck off as well. Paul, no, fuck. Do you know what? Oh, Darren Anderson, fucking sick note over here. But do you know what? Tell you what I'll do. What's his injury prone? No, his injury proneness is 18. I ain't going to add him in because that prick would just get injured again, won't he? I want one more attacking midfielder. I'm going to add Gareth Barry to my shortlist. I think he needs to go in there. We need an attacking midfielder. Jermaine Wright. Jeez, that's a... Darren Eadie. The famous Darren Eadie. Look at that, out for 10 months. Fucking prick. David Dunn. David Dunn, do you know what? Fuck it, David Dunn, you can have it. Okay, so there's our... tell you what we'll do then, guys. We'll get as far as the first game, shall we? We'll play the Spain game. Spain ain't an easy game. But this is more a case of... has anyone actually tried this before? More importantly, have they tried it with anybody away from England? I'm intrigued. Share your experiences with us, guys. Just to reiterate something I've said on a previous video, you want any videos doing, let me know. All kinds of subjects within fucking reason. Just because I'm on camera now, I don't fucking get any funny ideas. I know what some of you fucking perverts are like. I'm only joking. So, yeah, we'll play the Spain game. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do you know, it really pisses me. He wasn't, do you know, it fucking bugs me because I knew he was still injured for a week, but I knew he'd be fit for the game. But those pricks played him. How fucking stupid is that? Fucking pricks. So we need a central midfielder now then, don't we? Well, ideally a central midfielder. So, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give it to Lee Hendry. That really fucks me off. I'm also intrigued to know, because, how do you play international management? Do you play it like reality, as in giving fringe players chances to impress, or what? How do you do it? The reason I'm asking is because I don't really play that much. The only international management side of things that I play on this game are on my three-man game with Pep and Ian. And of course, because I've only got England opened on that game, it's not very realistic. It's all flawed anyway with international managerial jobs and stuff. But which is why I'm really eager to see what people's views and perspectives are. So what I'll do before we start the game, even though it's going to be too late, I'll have a quick gander at the latest Premiership. We'll see who is leading the way, like with goals and assists and stuff like that. And let's just have a look at any messages come through. No one fucking loves me. Fuck you all. 27th of August, you may recall this yourself or from a previous video. It's always a slight longer advance of date. 27th of August and 31st of December. I believe that's one of the key points of when regions come in August, and in December, of course, it's the end of the year, the end of the season for America. I want to say Sweden as well. Could be wrong on that. What you've also got to think to yourself, right, is there's players out there that have dual nationality. So get them on board of England before they potentially might go to a second nationality, because once they've got their cap, that's it, you're done. Okay, here we go. Yeah, whatever. Who gives a flying fuck about that shit, which I believe means fuck all. So Seaman 750, Walker, no, not even been playing. Nigel Martin. So we're going to give that to Seaman then, purely based on merit. Okay, at the back, so Carragher's not going to play, prick. Okay, so I think Ashley Cole's going to be the obvious, isn't he? 3 games, 7-0. Phil Neville, no, don't deserve to start. Gary Neville, 7-3, looks like it's going to be Gary Neville. Phil Neville's going to be the obvious substitute there. Let's take a look at... Well, Carragher actually not done too bad, has he? Prick. So John Terry, 1 game. Rio Ferdinand, I think. Okay. Sol Campbell, I mean, do you know what? I know they're not exactly good friends in real life, so there you go. We'll do that. Did I see someone else had a... Right, no, I don't think it was it? Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put Gareth Southgate as a substitute. Ugo Ekiok as a substitute as well. Into DMC then. Let's see. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Gerrard or Hart? I think it's going to be Gerrard. Then he'll probably get injured, but So Hargreaves, he'll probably come on, Hargreaves. In the middle of the park. So no Beckham. So Lee Bowyer in the middle, Joe Cole on the left. I think he is left-footed or either. Yep, Joe Cole one side, and who's it going to be? Barnby or Dunn? I think Barnby's just earned it. Okay, Barnby. So Lampard on the bench, along with Dunn. Scholes will probably be the no actually. Okay, let's have a look. So Scholes, Janssen. I mean Janssen probably deserves it ahead of Scholes. Let's be honest. On form, Janssen deserves it. On value, I'm going to give it with Scholes, and Janssen will probably get himself the opportunity to lead, to maybe get a substitute role. Fowler 2 goals in 3. Smith nothing. Owen not even scored a goal, but he's on 7-2-0. So we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do that. Okay, our captain then. Who's going to be our captain? Do you know what? We'll let them fucking choose a captain. Now, fuck off. Gary Neville. You're on a fucking lot. Do you know what? He's probably got the best influence. No, do you know what? We'll give it to Rio. Okay, here we go then. Hard to know how this is going to flare up. I'll put this in. I'll leave this in slow speed, and I have had a message, so I'm not even going to look at the fucking score now. Okay. And we are leading 1-0. Michael Owen. Okay, let's crack on. Come on. Let's go. Look at that. I mean, we all like to win our games. Oh, hang on. We've got a penalty there. Oh, he gets in. Ashley Cole. Now, why is Ashley Cole taking penalties? You're telling me there's not one other player on the pitch that's got penalties of above 13? Michael Owen, 17. And now that fucking proves, right? That proves that when you don't set your penalty takers, AI do not set your best penalty taker. Do you know what? I actually always thought they did, if I'm truly honest with you. But obviously, as you can see, I've got the 4th row of attributes on. So that just proves it, those fucking cunts. Pricks. Okay, well, nevertheless, we're in good form. Ashley Cole can come off, not because he scored, but because he's on 88%. And if I'm going to play this properly, Phil Neville will come on. Joe Cole, both Coles will come off. Nothing against the name. And we'll give David Dunn a little bit of action, shall we? We'll only make 2 substitutes. Okay, so look, any familiar players there for Spain? Raul, good old Raul Mendieta. What a fucking player Mendieta is. Raul's a beast. Diego Tristan, he can score some goals. Can't he? And they've just scored. Fuck you! Oh, come on! What was the fucking chances of that? Do you know what? Oh, you motherfuckers. Look, we have dominated it, to be fair, so we're worthy of our victory here. There we go. There we go. Okay, we are off and running. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I don't even remember that goalkeeper. Lewis Enrique. We are off and running then as England manager. Phil Neville let me down. I'm intrigued to know something else, right? If a player, for you, is doing shit for his team, but he does well for England, do you keep it in? Let's take Harry Maguire in real life, for example. Does shit for Man United, but does alright for England. What's your stance on that? I'm intrigued. So Gerrard got an 8, Cole got an 8, Michael Owen's man of the match. Michael Owen, you know, he got me. David Seaman, sorry. David got me an 8. What can you say? Probably should have done more substitutes, to be honest with you, but do you know what? That is that. So let's just chuck a save in there. And that is that, guys. So hope you enjoyed this rather extended video. In the end, it's gone on a little bit, hasn't it? How long has it gone? I can't even see my fucking timer. Where's my timer on my OBS? Fuck it. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Do feel free to write any constructive criticism down there. If it's really offensive, I won't ignore it. I'll fucking respond back to you. You can. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.